Why is it that when companies virtue signal, they so often seem to align with China? For the Colson Center, I'm John Stonestreet. This is Breakpoint. More American corporations, including a few having to do with sports, have joined the growing list of American companies who seem committed to appeasing the People's Republic of China. Late last week, in response to the blow-up between the NBA and China, more about that in a moment, the sports publication Deadspin reported on a leaked internal ESPN memo. In it, the Disney-owned sports network mandated that its reporters avoid any discussions of tension surrounding the NBA, China, and Hong Kong, and instead focus on related basketball issues. In other words, a network that goes out of its way each and every year to celebrate Gay Pride Month has forbidden commentators from even talking about actual human rights abuses. That news came as Blizzard, an e-gaming company behind the uber-popular video game World of Warcraft, suspended a professional gamer from its international tournament and docked his prize money after he shouted, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times," in a post-match interview. The gamer, Wai Chung, is a native of Hong Kong, but his actions, according to the company, violated the rule against gamers bringing Blizzard into disrepute. Well, I'm glad that more than a few public figures and politicians were willing to call out these companies for this cowardice, including Senators Marco Rubio and Rick Scott. In response to the outrage, the president of Blizzard announced over the weekend the company has now had a chance to pause, to listen to our community and reflect on what we could have done better. That means Blizzard reduced Ng's suspension and returned his winnings. Now, I don't think we'll see that sort of course reversal from the National Basketball Association anytime soon. To recap the story, when the general manager of the Houston Rockets expressed his support for Hong Kong in a tweet, China went nuts, banning the NBA from state TV and ditching NBA-related sponsorships. Facing the loss of so much money, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver expressed regret that Maury's tweet offended the league's friends and fans in China, while, but might I say barely, acknowledging Maury's right to free expression. Players then tripped all over themselves to talk about how complicated the situation was, even while lavishing their praise on China and their fans. Even worse, the league's attempt to eliminate any non-approved opinions has now moved into the stands. Fans in Washington, D.C. had their pro-Hong Kong signs confiscated, while fans with similar signs at, get this, a Philadelphia 76er game were kicked out. In case it's not obvious, their mascot name refers to 1776. Not 1876 or 1976. The league's actions, and especially their unwillingness to make any kind of moral stand here, stand in stark contrast to their convictional moral clarity back in 2016 when the NBA threatened to boycott the state of North Carolina and even canceled an All-Star game over the so-called bathroom bill. In other words, the NBA will boycott North Carolina over bathrooms, but will morally hem and haw and say it's complicated when it comes to China's practices of harvesting organs, imprisoning and otherwise persecuting religious minority groups, and forcing abortions on women. Cowardice. In direct contrast, the city of Prague suspended its sister city relationship with Beijing, risking Chinese investment in the Czech Republic. The mayor's political party explained why on Facebook. Quote, "We're a country of free people. We refuse to bow to such an authoritarian regime that's responsible for re-education camps." Now, why is it that these professional sports associations, broadcasting networks, and so many other companies often line up with communist China in their virtue signaling? Well, it's because, like China, they see human beings as expendable compared to their other priorities. For China, it's the party. For these companies, it's profit. Both are willing to sacrifice humans on the altars of their false gods. For Breakpoint, I'm John Stonestreet.